Hello, flamers. Hello, princesses. Oh shit. Well, hello, viewers of this channel. Yeah. Just out here in a suburban Finnish park on the Ides of April, where there's still snow everywhere. Just bringing you both a company and personal update because they're rather intertwined, aren't they? First thing, company-wise, the sale of the new stuff we did started late February and fulfilled in August was went pretty well. You know, we're still selling the items, so if you still want them, it ain't too late. But things went pretty well, and as it turns out, by the end of May, going to press for things that would be out in time for Gen Con, there's a non-zero chance we will have 5 new projects ready for you to buy already. All brand new, no reprints. Slightly insane, yeah. So that's what's been going pretty good. Let's see, we're going to be at the North Texas RPG Convention, beginning of June. Let's see, we'll be running, what was the adventure I told them I'd run for 3 sessions there? Going to put something together in May. What was it? The Ice Castle of Fire. Something is basically a castle in the frozen north that's, situated on the side of a volcano. So good exploration. Could put some weirdness there, and it'll be a dungeoneering type thing, so it'll be good for convention gaming over several sessions. And I think if that goes well, we're also going to be at, oh god, I forgot the actual real name, but the in Germany there's an OSR con happening in a castle, in Germany, and we're going to be there, and hopefully I'll be running that same adventure and then have something new to publish myself, Of course, we're going to be at Gen Con. And I've signed up for Dragon Meet as well, so first time in a few years go to Dragon Meet. So that should be the convention schedule for the year. And let's see. Personally, I'm doing pretty well. For the past 6 months, I've been under a variety of doctors' care and advice, and things have been improving. My legs both completely went out last July, and it's been 9 months of not being able to walk right. But there's been improvement. You've seen me running around, running on channel here sometimes. So I've been having good days, but then I have awful days. But generally in the direction of improvement. And I need to, I need to get some health devices, the CPAP machine, to help me sleep, because I'm still doing average 4-5 hours a night, way too many 4-hour nights, so that's not good. But I'm in the queue for that appointment to get one of those machines, and then I need to get on with a therapist. Because I've been seeing the psychiatric nurse, and it's like, okay, now I'm going to get a therapist. It's like, tell me about your feelings. Well, shit, right? So everything's, and a couple weeks ago, I decided, okay, for 6 months, I've been passively under care and advisement of all these people, the general practitioner, physical therapist, dietitian, psychiatric nurse, and I think there was someone else. I can't remember offhand, but, I decided not to be passive and take some control. Maybe I help me get the strength to do that myself. So I've gone on the keto diet again. I had great success, lost about 50 pounds back in 2017. Started a couple of weeks ago. I had tried several times in the past year or two to get on that, but I couldn't ever get past the carb flu, but past it now, and so that's going well. I don't really have cravings. I'm I've lost a shirt size in just less than 2 weeks. I've discovered things like cooking steak is easy and convenient, even for me, and doesn't even cost any more than all the garbage and takeout that I used to eat. So, I was getting there, but I think we've prevented my going full whale. So everything's looking good in that way. My plan is to keep keto strict through to Gen Con, and then I'm gonna eat at Gen Con, and then have to deal with the carb flu again the week after, and then get back on it, because in the past I've had great success, and it's only when I've gotten off of it that I got back into problems, and we'll talk about that in a bit, because after the happy updates, I've had some health setbacks past couple years, been on the brain drugs and everything, but that's all done, and actually, especially getting past the carb flu and then not having all the junk in my system, and somehow it's like my thinking has become clearer, like my brain is working again. I mean, that happened after I got off the brain drugs last summer, but then I immediately hurt my legs, and so that kind of, that period where I put together a ref book draft and the 2 adventures last year, Daughter Brides and Just a Stupid Dungeon, that was like a tiny window of I'm a functional human being. That got dashed pretty quick. So I'm getting back in that headspace, and there's lots to do. And then it's setbacks again. And that's, I think, what the bulk of this video is going to be talking about, because I realize, and it's been almost 5 full years now, that I've been having trouble. Even in 2018, when everything was going spectacular and the business was doing awesome and I'd made more money than I'd ever made in my life, and I decided to expand the business and hire some people on, and the pressure got to me immediately, even before any of the controversies. It was in the fall of 2018 that, I was grinding my teeth in my sleep and loosening them, and, my bite line, never got that fixed. So I got some crooked teeth now because of that. And then the controversies hit, and I just said, oh, nope, and just basically become a shut-in. So as I'm realizing, oh shit, there's a lot to do now to get everything the way it should. It's trying to get back in touch with some people I haven't talked to for a long time, and realizing that I got 1,100 emails in my inbox, things that aren't junk mail that should have been answered over the past bunch of years, that I just fell down on. And that's, I look at the enormity of, I got some shit to fix, and what happened is I thought we were done with this, but just this past week, 3 people that I got in contact with said they didn't want to work with me anymore, didn't want to work with Lamentations anymore. And that's rough. It's like, okay, is that going to throw me back into my little spiral of pity party and just withdrawing again? And I don't know what to do about it, because basically my problem is I can care or I can be functional. I can't seem to do both, because if I care, then it consumes me that I'm not popular with people, or I've fallen out of favor with people, or in one case, they started things and they were in their mid-20s, now they're in their 30s and their life is different. So that's not even, I don't like you and can't be associated, but still, it's just like, I've got sometimes, even though I got a bunch of projects that are going well, 5 things that could be coming out, in time for Gen Con, people in good standing, and I hope I'm in good standing with them, but it's the people that either I've disappointed or just have their own thing going on and don't want to participate anymore. It's rough. It's, even though it's only some people, it makes me feel like unreasonably like I'm standing on quicksand, and because I can't do all this stuff on my own, I need other people. And it's fun working with other people, and I don't know, because the thing is about this, I can care or I can be functional. I mean, when I've been seeing the psychiatric nurse, and what I want to see the therapist for, and the issues to work out, is that the issue is not how do I get along with people better. It's not how do I fit in. That's not what I'm asking about. I'm basically saying how can I better not care when these things happen, because how I am and how the rest of the world seems to be is I don't fit a lot of the time, and usually, or in the creative sphere, I guess the differences are invisible, but then when the differences pop up, people are like, ugh. And so I just got to learn that, yeah, I'm a weirdo. I've always been a weirdo, and the social dynamics, whether it's in freaking middle school or the creative sub-community, same dynamics of the social positioning and all that bullshit that I've never aspired to be good at. I never, maybe I was doomed from the start, but there's something about in a creative community, your importance should be based on the work you do and not anything else, really. Apparently a lot of people disagree with that, or if I'm making something they don't like, well, that becomes a target instead of a good for him doing something different that's not for me, So yeah, I got to get my head right and just learning to not give a shit, or else I can't actually keep my head right to do stuff. And I keep, this might be a repeat for some of you that have been watching for a while, but I just keep going back to the 2004 presidential election, where the guy I voted for got 0.32% of the vote. And yeah, in this age where I keep seeing in marketing things that people don't just want things, they want to support companies that have shared values with them. And I'm thinking, 0.32% before. I don't think I'm any more normal or in line with any other groups now. So, shared values, 0.32%. Well, I'm fucked. I'm not going to pretend shit for you people. I mean, I make fictional nonsense because what else am I going to do, right? And yeah, and it seems to be that shared values isn't just for like actual hard electoral politics stuff, but for other, social bullshit. And I don't care. And that's the problem, isn't it? People who insist. And just a couple of weeks ago there was an election in Finland, general election for the parliament, and I realized I was angry at seeing all the ads everywhere. I didn't want to see the ads because I know politics happen in Finland, obviously, but I don't follow the politics. I don't read the news. I have no idea what's going on in this country. And I realize that's probably why I like Finland so much. I get so much of the bullshit from, the English language nations, from the US, from the UK, some from Australia. And it's all a fucking dumpster fire. It's just, it's like, my excuse is being informed because all the cultural bullshit that's out in the world lands right in the RPG scene, and I have to at least be aware of it. But it's like, well, if ignorance makes me happy about Finland, maybe I can just be ignorant about everything, which is bizarre to say. It sounds wrong and bizarre, but I've cut out from my Twitter, for what I look at, and from my YouTube feeds, every political, every news, every commentary, every just kind of stuff like that, just gone, for the past week or so. And, so my feeds are all professional wrestling now. I look at barely any gaming stuff because most of that is just the political, social arguments anyway, and not about games. And it's like, what am I going to miss if I don't follow any of these controversies, if I don't follow the bad news? Because no matter what the angle is, no matter the philosophy or the politics of the commentator in question, it's all about, look what those fucking idiots are doing wrong. Oh, look what that asshole's... Oh, isn't that harmful? Shouldn't we band together against this? And that's... Yeah. I don't need that, I don't think. That's... Because in the end, I want to do the stuff I do, and it's based on, various influences that I have. A lot of them are quite old and not of this time. So, mightn't I be happier in general about the state of the world, about me getting on the internet, if I just become as ignorant about the rest of the world as I am about Finland? And again, it seems so wrong. It's like, I want to be more uninformed and just... But it's like, well, if it works for me, because I've seen the past bunch of years how people want to recruit me for their cause. Are you on board with this? Or how can you deal with this person? And it comes from, the division of the world into two separate camps is completely false. There's not just two philosophies in the world. So when I say both sides, I'm using the little rabbit ears quote marks very, very emphatically. But, I get that shit from both sides of the aisle. How can you deal with that? How can you talk to that person? They're an alt-right bigot, blah, blah, blah. Then again, how can you talk to that person? They're completely woke, censorious, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's just like, I don't care. I don't care. And it just gets me mad at the person that I'm talking to, because it's like, what the fuck does this have to do with anything that I do? I mean, as far as I think, as far as I'm concerned, whatever you think, whatever your opinions are, it's like your beliefs and opinions are not what make you a good or bad person. How you express, how you implement them into the world. Yeah, but the thoughts and beliefs themselves, everyone's entitled to their own opinion as far as I'm concerned. And it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And the idea that you gather up in sides, to oppose this thing or that, and if you're not with us, you're against us. It's like, okay, I'm against y'all. I'm against y'all. Sounds southern, y'all. Spent too many years in Georgia. But you all, it's a perfectly good plural. Now, I'm a writer that doesn't know proper parts of speech. Yeah. And that's, yeah. I'm not interested in the social positioning. I'm not interested in the power games. I just want to make stuff and hopefully not have to do anything else but that. And every writer I bring to the table is, going to have their own stuff. So it's, yeah. I mean, I've released some stuff that people look like, are they a good person doing this? And I'm like, I don't care. And some stuff coming up, I know someone's going to look at that and go, is LOTFP gone woke? And it's like, it's a book and the author's got a point of view. I don't give a shit. You know, oh God. So, yeah. And I just think that 0.32%, the good thing about that is, you know, the U.S. being a big country, there were still over 350,000 people that voted the same way I did way back when. And, yeah, and I voted for a real weirdo, too. I mean, even when I was voting libertarian, and I realized, especially, like all privatized education just means that poor people will never become not poor. There's no... I mean, the state education is an awful idea, but at a certain level, you know, how do you create mobility for the impoverished if there's no one saying, hey, here's some basic facts and here's how to move through the world, which hopefully education does that, but I'm almost 50 years old. I've been in this school in ages, so if the schools ain't doing that, they should. But yeah, so I didn't even believe in totally what I was voting for anyway. But it's, you know, the dude I voted for thought that zip codes were an unconstitutional apportionment of United States territory. You know, I was a lot more, I don't know if anti-statist is the right way, but I'm still a pretty heavily individualist. You know, that's you know, that's why I see someone waving a swastika, I think, hey, you fucking idiot. If you're in charge, I'm up against a wall. If I see someone waving the hammer and sickle, it's like, you fucking idiot. That's no way to run a society. If you're ever in charge, I'm up against a wall. You know, oh well. You know, so when people say, oh, you've got a position or you've said something or you're working with someone who said a thing, like I suddenly am responsible for everything that they believe, say, and do, which I don't believe for a freaking second that I am. You know, it's like, okay, I just have to learn to go, okay, bye, and not feel a thing. And I hate that. That I can care or be functional, but you know, either something in my genetics or my brain or how I was raised, you know, I'm just not, I don't have some of the social genes. So I guess maybe that's why one thing I like to do with the LOTFP gaming stuff is, what'll fuck with your campaign? What'll get rid of all your plans? I want to see what happens when you drop chaos in the middle of this group. What happens? Yeah. So, yeah, so it's, yeah. I mean, I don't, I mean, what I wish I could say, I wish I could be a complete corporate front shill, but, you know, I took a month turning my living room into a packing warehouse. There's not really separating my personal and professional lives. So, you know, people say, oh, you have to support people that share your values. Well, my values are, I like these books, I like these movies, I like this music. Do you? If you don't, then it's like, do we have anything to talk about? I don't care how good a person you are. I don't care what grand ideas you have for society and whether I agree with them or not. It's like, do we like this shit? Okay, we got something in common. We can talk and hang out and be cool. If not, then it's just like, well, might as well stay home and play with myself than deal with you, you know? So, yeah. And I had a conversation since the beginning of the month, forget which day, about someone, you know, telling me to balance, you know, do I really have to go as hard as I do on some of the releases, or, some of this, like videos like this, just basically wishing I could just say, I don't have values. What good do values do me? Which is, of course, bullshit. I have values, but the idea of what my personal values are and what should go in a book or who should, the fact I don't care about that, I guess, is a value in itself, but I don't have values that I'm trying to impose uniformly there, like that. And they're like, well, wouldn't your life be more comfortable if you didn't go? And it's like, well, no. Because the whole point of being in a creative industry and in doing creative work is that you don't have to be normal. You don't have to fit in with real life. Whether you're doing it full-time professionally or it's just a side gig or a hobby, it's like that's where you can put your life aside and just let your mind explode all over the medium, and you don't have to worry. You at least shouldn't worry. And I'm not going to endorse any viewpoint. I'm not going to endorse any person that is for these kind of restrictions. That the job of a creator is not to create things that will inspire people to make a better world. It's not to help people think a certain way out in the real world. It's to get all the madness that's in here out. And that's it. That's it. And if the madness is beautiful, it's beautiful. If it's ugly, it's ugly. And that's it, sorry, nose itched. No editing, just raw, first take. Blah, blah. So that's what Lamentations of the Flame Princess does. You gotta focus, and, even some of the upcoming stuff doesn't, on surface level, doesn't fit with the focus. It'll be more like a Carcosa or Red and Pleasant Land. This doesn't fit in what you've been doing, which maybe I need to be a bit looser on, but, in the past few years when I've been out of control, well, not out of control, but out of sorts, I guess is the way to say it better. I've tried to, just keep tight. It's like everything's slipping through my fingers. I got to maintain some control. But maybe loosening up a bit, maybe things will be better. I don't know. But I'm, yeah. But as far as wanting to fit in and play nice and only deal with the good, respectable people, I'm almost 50 years old, I'm not going to change my ways, so I guess, this is this is the way it has to be, and, trying to get healthy. I got a ways to go, try to get healthy, and, realize, have more fun with what I'm doing instead of worrying so much, and live my best life for myself, and, all your filthy ways, just, don't care. And that's my project. That's my project. Not be involved, not keep up on drama, not have an opinion on drama. My my goal, which I'll never keep, but my goal is to not even find out who ends up being the final nominees running for U.S. president next year. That's how disconnected from reality I wish to be. And whatever beefs anyone has, whatever scandals erupt, I don't want to know. I don't want to care. And basically, anybody that wants to make me care, it's like, you're okay with me, no matter what you think, until you start insisting that other people have to think it too. and then I'm not on your side anymore. And if that means sometimes I'm standing up for someone that's bad, then sometimes I'll stand up for someone who's bad, because even bad people are people, and some of the shit they get is overblown. And if that means I'm standing across from a good person, well, nobody is all good, and even the best people have bad takes and bad ideas and bad decisions. But hopefully hopefully this means, or this will allow me to just work with and continue to work with people who separate real life from the make-believe that we do, because that's what Lamentations of the Flame Princess is. It's not, it's real life for me because it's my living, but most of you reading this, you're fans, you're players, this is your hobby, this is what you do to get away from real life. And I hope increasingly to separate myself from all the most real life garbage that I can, so that Lamentations of the Flame Princess can be the pure freak out escape from your everyday that it can be. And I think I hit all my talking points. I'm not reading from a script this time, just rambling. And if you've made it this far, don't you have anything better to do? Oh, there's one line that, yeah, I didn't do the setup for it, but I think I'll sign off with, save us from everyone who thinks that either God or history has a side. Oh my goodness. So awful. So, till next time, everyone.